Listen to me closely. If God wanted to abandon you, He would have done it already. If heaven had decided to quit on you, you wouldn't still be breathing with purpose in your chest. The very fact that you are still standing, still hoping, still believing, still praying through pain, is proof that God is not finished with you. You feel delayed, not denied. You feel stretched, not rejected. You feel tested, not forgotten. And let me tell you something that will shake your spirit. God does not disappoint His people cheaply. He does not drop His children casually. He does not walk away from destinies. He personally designed. What you are calling late, God is calling precise. What you are calling silence, God is calling setup. What you are calling waiting, heaven is calling alignment. There are things you asked for that, if God had given them to you earlier, they would have broken you instead of blessing you. There are doors you begged to open that would have led you into rooms you were not ready to survive. So God said, wait, not because I don't love you, but because I love you too much to rush you. You see, delay is not punishment. Delay is preparation wearing work clothes. Every tear you cried in private, God collected it. Every night you felt alone, God was shaping your endurance. Every time people walked out, God was teaching you not to lean on broken support systems, because what He is about to bring into your life requires strength, requires maturity, requires faith that does not panic when things move slowly. You don't need everything to make sense right now. You just need enough faith to say, God, I trust you. Even when I don't understand you, hear this clearly. God's timing never arrives late. It arrives loaded. When it comes with wisdom. When it comes with protection. When it comes with peace you didn't have before. That's why He didn't let it happen sooner. So don't you quit now. Don't you lower your expectations. Don't you insult God by assuming He forgot you. If He carried you this far, He's not about to drop you now. Your delay is not your defeat. Your waiting season is not wasted. Your silence is not the end of the story. God will never let you down so easily. Trust His timing. He's setting you up for something that will make sense of everything you survived. And when it finally happens, you'll look back and say, now I see why it had to happen this way. Delay is not denial. It is divine preparation. And most people misunderstand this because they judge life only by speed, not by purpose. We live in a world that celebrates instant results, instant success, instant love, instant recognition. So when something takes time, we assume something is wrong, but nothing is wrong. Something is being built. Think about a student who studies for years while others seem to succeed faster. From the outside, it looks unfair. From the inside, discipline is being formed. Patience is being sharpened. Resilience is being trained. When that student finally succeeds, they don't just have a certificate. They have character strong enough to carry success without collapsing under pressure. Delay was not rejection. Delay was training. Look at everyday life. A seed does not become a tree overnight. If it did, the roots would be weak and the first storm would destroy it. So the seed stays hidden under the soil for a long time. In that dark place, it looks like nothing is happening. But underground, roots are spreading, strength is forming, life is organizing itself. Many people quit in the soil stage because they don't see progress. But the delay underground is what makes the tree stand tall above ground. Your unseen season is not empty, it is essential. Think about relationships. How many times have people rushed into love because they were lonely, only to end up broken, exhausted, and questioning their worth? Sometimes God delays love not because you are unworthy, but because He is protecting you from a version of yourself that would accept less than you deserve. In the waiting, you learn self-respect. You learn boundaries. You learn how to be whole without depending on someone else to complete you. When love finally arrives, it doesn't consume you, it complements you. Delay was not denial, delay was emotional maturity. Consider a job you prayed for but didn't get. You felt rejected, embarrassed, maybe even angry. But later you realized that workplace was toxic, the growth was limited, or the stress would have stolen your peace. Meanwhile, during the delay, you learned new skills. met new people, gained confidence, and developed clarity about what you actually want. When the right opportunity comes, you walk in prepared, not desperate. The delay saved you from settling and prepared you to lead. Even in daily struggles, delay teaches lessons speed never could. A person who becomes rich too quickly often loses it just as fast because they never learned discipline, humility, or stewardship. But someone who builds slowly understands value. They respect money because they remember the nights they went without. They manage wisely because delay taught them responsibility. Preparation protects the blessing. Think about healing. Sometimes you pray for pain to disappear instantly, but healing takes time. In that time, you learn empathy. You become softer with others. You learn that strength is not pretending you are okay, but continuing even when you are not. The delay transforms your heart, not just your situation. Quick fixes change circumstances. Preparation changes people. Every delay removes something from you that cannot go into your next season. Pride, impatience, dependency, fear. You may feel like time is being wasted, but God is actually cleaning your hands so you don't drop what He's about to give you. He is strengthening your shoulders so the weight of success doesn't crush you. He is sharpening your discernment so you don't confuse noise for opportunity. Look at daily life again. A chef doesn't rush a meal meant to nourish. Slow cooking brings depth of flavor. Rushing ruins the taste. Some things must simmer. Your destiny is not fast food, it is a carefully prepared feast, and preparation always takes longer than people expect. Delay also builds faith. When everything comes easily, you trust results. When things take time, you learn to trust God. You learn to walk without evidence, to believe without confirmation, to move forward without guarantees. That kind of faith doesn't break when circumstances change. It stands firm. Many people look at others and say, why them and not me? But you don't know what they skipped and what you are being prepared for. Speed is not favor, longevity is. What lasts requires preparation. Delay humbles you, stretches you, teaches you, and strengthens you. It removes shortcuts so your foundation is solid. It keeps you from arriving early to a place you are not ready to handle. It slows you down so your character can catch up with your calling. So when life feels slow, remember this. Nothing valuable arrives unprepared. Nothing powerful comes unfinished. Nothing lasting is rushed. The waiting season is not empty, it is active. Something is being shaped inside you that speed could never produce. God protects you by withholding what could harm you too early. And this is one of the hardest truths to accept because pain makes us impatient and desire makes us blind. When you want something deeply, you see it as a blessing, but God sees the weight attached to it. You see the gift, He sees the responsibility. You see the door, He sees what waits on the other side. Many times what feels like God saying no is actually God saying not yet, because I know what you cannot see. Think about a child asking for a sharp knife because they want to help in the kitchen. The intention is innocent, but the timing is dangerous. The parent doesn't deny the child forever. The parent delays access until the child has the strength, skill, and awareness to handle it safely. In the same way, God withholds certain opportunities not because He wants to frustrate you, but because He knows that receiving them too early would cut you instead of feed you. Protection often looks like disappointment before it looks like wisdom. Consider how many people rushed into success before they were emotionally ready. Overnight fame, quick money, sudden recognition. These things look like dreams, but without preparation they become pressure. People collapse under expectations they were never trained to carry. God sometimes blocks visibility so you can develop stability. He hides you so pride doesn't destroy you, so comparison doesn't poison you, so applause doesn't become your identity. When you are ready, exposure becomes influence instead of insecurity. Look at relationships again. How many times did you beg God to keep someone in your life, only to later realize that person was draining your peace, shrinking your confidence, or pulling you away from your purpose? At the time, losing them felt like heartbreak. Later, it felt like rescue. God removed what your emotions were attached to because He saw where it would lead. He protected you from investing years into something that would have cost you your self-respect. Sometimes God saves you by making you cry. Think about daily work life. You may want a promotion badly, but the role requires leadership, patience, and emotional control that you are still learning. If you step into authority too soon, you might misuse power, burn bridges, or damage your reputation. So God keeps you in a place of learning longer than you like. He allows you to be overlooked so you can observe. He allows you to serve so you can understand people. When the position finally comes, you don't just have the title, you have the wisdom to keep it. Even in finances, God protects through delay. Sudden wealth without discipline creates chaos. Many people who win money quickly lose relationships, peace, and purpose. But slow growth teaches gratitude. Limited resources teach creativity. Scarcity teaches responsibility. By the time abundance arrives, you know how to manage it instead of being managed by it. God withholds money early, so money doesn't become your master later. Health is another area where protection hides behind delay. You may want instant healing, instant strength, instant answers. But through the process, you learn to listen to your body, value rest, set boundaries, and care for yourself. The struggle teaches you what comfort never could. God doesn't just want to heal your body, He wants to transform your lifestyle. Sometimes God withholds answers. You pray and all you hear is silence. That silence is not abandonment, it is protection. If you knew everything too early, fear would overwhelm you. If you saw the whole journey at once, you might quit before you begin. So God reveals things step by step, giving you just enough light to take the next move. Partial vision keeps you dependent, and dependency keeps you safe. Daily life teaches this lesson again and again. A builder does not place heavy weight on a weak foundation. A driver does not give full speed to a cold engine. A teacher does not give advanced lessons to an unprepared student. Timing is a form of care. Delay is a form of love. Every withheld blessing carries a hidden message. I am guarding you. God sees not only what you want, but what it will demand from you. He knows what season you are in and what you can safely carry. So He withholds to protect your peace, your purpose, your future, and your faith. You may feel frustrated now, but frustration is often the sound of growth, stretching your limits. God is not punishing you by saying wait. He is preventing harm you would only understand later. What you cannot have yet is not because you are unworthy, but because you are valuable. Protection is not always gentle. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it feels like loss. But every delay, every closed door, every unanswered prayer has one goal: to keep you whole long enough to receive what is truly meant for you. Silence does not mean absence, it means alignment. Yet this truth is one of the hardest lessons the human heart must learn. When life goes quiet, when prayers seem unanswered, when days pass without visible change, the mind immediately assumes abandonment. But silence is not empty. Silence is active. Silence is the space where things are being arranged beyond your sight. Just because you cannot hear God does not mean He has stepped away. Often, He has stepped in closer, working where noise would only distract you. Think about daily conversations. When a teacher goes silent during an exam, it does not mean the teacher has left the room. It means the teacher is watching, allowing the student to apply what they have already learned. The silence is intentional. It is a test of understanding, not a sign of neglect. In the same way, God's silence often comes when you are being trusted to walk by faith instead of instructions. The quiet is proof that you have been taught enough to take the next step. Look at nature. Before a storm, there is an unusual silence in the air. Birds pause, wind slows, and everything feels still. That stillness is not nothing, it is the atmosphere shifting. Alignment is taking place. Pressure is building. Energy is gathering. When the storm finally moves, it moves with power. Many breakthroughs are preceded by quiet seasons, where nothing seems to happen, but everything is being positioned. Consider daily work life. There are moments when you give your best, yet recognition does not come. No praise, no promotion, no feedback. Silence can make you question your worth. But that quiet season is often where consistency is being formed. You learn to show up without applause. You learn to work with integrity even when no one is watching. That alignment shapes character. When recognition finally arrives, it does not corrupt you because you are no longer dependent on validation. Think about relationships. There are seasons when people stop calling, messages go unanswered, and familiar voices disappear. It feels like abandonment, but silence creates space for clarity. In that quiet, you begin to hear your own thoughts again. You learn what you truly need, what you tolerate, and what you must release. Sometimes God removes noise so you can hear your own value. The absence of others often reveals the presence of self-respect. Silence also teaches patience in daily life. Imagine cooking a meal that requires slow heat. You don't keep lifting the lid every minute, or the temperature drops and the process is ruined. The pot stays quiet while flavors develop. Life works the same way. When God keeps things silent, it is because opening the lid too soon would interrupt the process. The quiet is protecting the outcome. Even in decision-making, silence plays a role. You ask for direction, but nothing feels clear. No signs, no sudden clarity. That quiet pushes you inward. You reflect, you evaluate, you grow discernment. Instead of depending on external confirmation, you learn to listen to wisdom forming inside you. Alignment happens internally before it manifests externally. Think of a child learning to walk. At first, the parent gives constant support. Then one day, the parent steps back. The child feels alone, but the parent is watching closely. That moment of silence is necessary for balance to develop. Without it, the child would never learn to stand independently. God's silence often means He is allowing your spiritual muscles to strengthen. In daily struggles, silence refines faith. When prayers are answered quickly, faith rests on results. When silence stretches on, faith learns endurance. You learn to trust without evidence, to hope without reassurance, to move forward without guarantees. That kind of faith cannot be shaken easily. It is deep, not loud. Silence also removes distractions. Noise creates confusion. Opinions, advice, fear, and comparison all speak at once. When God allows silence, those voices fade. What remains is truth. In that stillness, you begin to notice small confirmations, inner peace, subtle redirections. Alignment does not always announce itself. Sometimes it whispers. Look at daily routines. Muscles grow during rest, not during exertion. Sleep looks unproductive, yet it is essential for strength. Silence works the same way. It restores, repairs, and prepares. What feels like inactivity is actually recovery. Many people quit in silent seasons because they mistake quiet for emptiness. But silence is full of intention. It slows you down so your heart can catch up with your destiny. It clears your vision so you don't mistake movement for progress. It aligns your desires with purpose, your pace with wisdom, your will with something greater than impulse. When life is quiet, it is not time to panic. It is time to listen, to observe, to trust that alignment is taking place beyond what you can see or hear. Silence is not the absence of God. It is the evidence that something precise, deliberate, and powerful is being put in order. Waiting seasons build strength you'll need for what's coming, even though in the moment, waiting feels like punishment. The human heart wants movement, signs, confirmation. When none of that shows up, impatience whispers that life is passing you by. But waiting is not wasted time. Waiting is weight training for the soul. It is the space where weakness is turned into endurance and desire is turned into discipline. Think about everyday life. A person who wants to run a marathon does not wake up one morning and decide to run 40 kilometers. Their body would collapse. They train slowly, building stamina step by step. The slow miles are not exciting, but they prepare the lungs, the legs, and the mind. If the race came too early, the body would fail. In the same way, Waiting seasons condition you to endure what is coming without breaking under pressure. Look at how patience forms in daily work. A new employee wants responsibility immediately. But without understanding systems, people, and pressure, authority would become stress. So they wait. They observe. They learn how to handle mistakes, deadlines, and criticism. The waiting builds emotional control. When leadership finally comes, they are not overwhelmed because the waiting trained them quietly. Waiting strengthens decision-making. When everything is available instantly, choices are shallow. But when you wait, you think deeply. You evaluate consequences. You learn the difference between urgency and importance. Consider someone saving money for years instead of borrowing for instant comfort. That waiting teaches discipline. When they finally afford what they want, they appreciate it, protect it, and maintain it. Strength was built before possession. In relationships, waiting seasons are often misunderstood. Being single for a long time can feel lonely, but that space teaches self-awareness. You learn how to be at peace with yourself. You learn your patterns, triggers, and boundaries. Without that strength, love would become dependency instead of partnership. Waiting teaches you how to stand alone so you don't fall apart together. Even in emotional healing, waiting plays a role. Pain does not disappear overnight. Time forces you to sit with discomfort, to process instead of escape. In that process, you develop resilience. You discover that you can survive disappointment, betrayal, and loss. That strength becomes the foundation for future joy. Without waiting, healing would be shallow and fragile. Think about daily routines. Muscles grow during rest, not during lifting. The strain happens in the gym, but the strength forms during recovery. Waiting works the same way. It allows lessons to settle, habits to form, and identity to mature. Constant movement without rest leads to burnout, not growth. Waiting also humbles ego. When things take time, you stop relying on talent alone. You learn consistency. You learn to show up even when motivation fades. This builds inner strength. Quick success feeds pride. Delayed progress feeds discipline. Discipline lasts longer. Consider nature again. Bamboo spends years growing roots underground before it shoots up rapidly. For a long time, nothing seems to happen. But when growth begins, it is fast and strong. The waiting was not inactivity. It was foundation building. Without deep roots, height would be impossible. Waiting teaches you how to handle silence, rejection, and uncertainty. These are not weaknesses, they are training grounds. Ife ahead will demand calm under pressure, clarity under confusion, and faith under fire. Waiting prepares you for those moments. Daily challenges during waiting seasons stretch emotional muscles. You learn to manage frustration, to delay gratification, to trust without proof. These abilities become strength later. When opportunities finally arrive, you are not shaken by fear or doubt because you've already faced them in waiting. People often envy those who rise suddenly, but they do not see the strength required to stay there. Waiting seasons build endurance so success does not destroy you. They slow you down so your character can keep up with your destiny. Waiting strips away illusions. It forces you to confront yourself honestly. It teaches you that worth is not tied to speed or applause. This inner stability becomes armor when life accelerates. What feels like nothing happening is actually everything happening inside you. Waiting sharpens vision, toughens faith, deepens wisdom, and strengthens resolve. When the moment finally arrives, you are not surprised by the weight of it, because waiting already trained you to carry it. God's timing is precise, never careless or random. Even when it feels confusing, even when it feels slow, even when it feels unfair. Human timing is emotional. It is driven by urgency, fear, comparison, and pressure. Divine timing is intentional. It is measured, calculated, and deeply aware of consequences. What feels late to you is often perfectly placed in a larger picture you cannot yet see. Think about daily travel. When you miss a bus or a flight, frustration rises immediately. You think, if only I had left 5 minutes earlier. But later you hear about an accident on that road, or a delay that would have caused stress and loss, what looked like bad timing quietly turned into protection. Precision often hides behind inconvenience. Fee works the same way. Delays redirect you away from outcomes that were never meant to hold you. Look at cooking. A cake taken out of the oven too early looks fine on the outside but collapses inside. Timing matters more than appearance. If you rush the process, the result cannot stand. God does not rush outcomes just because you are uncomfortable waiting. He allows the full process so what comes out is complete, stable, and lasting. Half-baked blessings collapse under pressure. In daily work life, timing reveals wisdom. You may feel ready for a role, but the environment is not ready for you. The people are not aligned. The structure is unstable. If you entered too early, your talent would be wasted or attacked. So timing adjusts not just you, but the surroundings. When the moment arrives, the atmosphere supports you instead of resisting you. Think about friendships and relationships. You meet someone at the wrong time, and even though the connection feels strong, everything falls apart. Later in life, you meet someone else when you are emotionally grounded, self-aware, and clear about boundaries, and suddenly things flow. The difference is not luck, it is timing. Who you meet matters, but when you meet them, matters more. Precision protects hearts. Timing is also seen in learning. A child cannot understand advanced mathematics before mastering basics. Giving higher knowledge too early creates confusion. God releases understanding the same way. He reveals truth as your capacity expands. If everything were revealed at once, it would overwhelm you. Precision is mercy. Daily life shows this again in health. Medicines must be taken at specific times and in specific doses. The right medicine at the wrong time becomes harmful. Healing is not only about what you receive, but when you receive it. God's timing considers your physical, emotional, and mental readiness, not your desire for relief. Think about traffic signals. Red lights feel like obstacles when you are in a hurry, but they prevent collisions. Green lights given randomly would create chaos. Order requires timing. In life, closed doors are often red lights preventing crashes you would not survive. Open doors appear when paths align safely. Timing also shapes character. If success came before humility, pride would destroy purpose. If influence came before discipline, integrity would collapse. If answers came before questions matured, wisdom would remain shallow. God times blessings to match the version of you that can handle them without losing yourself. Consider planting seasons. Farmers do not plant whenever they feel like it. Soil temperature, weather patterns, and timing determine harvest. Planting too early wastes seed. Planting too late misses opportunity. Precision produces fruit. God understands seasons you do not see. He knows when conditions are right for growth. In daily finances, timing matters again. Spending before earning creates debt. Saving before spending creates stability. The order matters. God often delays provision until responsibility is developed, because provision without order creates destruction. Precision keeps blessings from becoming burdens. Timing refines faith. When things happen instantly, faith stays shallow. When timing stretches, faith deepens. You learn to trust the process, not just the outcome. You learn patience, endurance, and surrender. These qualities cannot be rushed. Look at daily conversations. Saying the right words at the wrong moment can damage relationships. Silence at the wrong time can hurt. Timing determines impact. God speaks when hearts are ready to hear. Silence does not mean inactivity. It means timing is being protected. Many people assume randomness because they only see moments, not patterns. Precision, works quietly. It connects events across time. Missed opportunities, delayed answers, unexpected detours are often perfectly placed puzzle pieces you will recognize later. Timing also prevents regret. You may want something desperately now, but later realize you were spared emotional damage, wasted years, or misplaced loyalty. Precision spared you pain you did not yet understand. God's timing accounts for people you haven't met yet. lessons you haven't learned yet, strength you haven't developed yet. Nothing arrives randomly, nothing is casual, everything is measured. What feels slow is strategic, what feels late is calculated, what feels confusing is ordered. Precision is not always comfortable, but it is always purposeful. What feels like rejection is often redirection, even though in the moment it cuts deeply and shakes your confidence. Rejection speaks to the emotions, but redirection speaks to destiny. When a door closes unexpectedly, the heart immediately asks, what is wrong with me? But many times, the better question is, where am I being guided instead? Not every closed door is about your worth. Some doors close because your future cannot fit inside that room. Think about daily life. You apply for a job you desperately want, you prepare, you imagine your life changing, and then the rejection email arrives. It feels personal, even when it isn't. But later, another opportunity appears, one that matches your skills better, challenges you more, and treats you with dignity. Looking back, you realize that the first door would have limited your growth. Rejection didn't stop you, it steered you toward alignment. Consider relationships again. Someone chooses not to commit, walks away, or treats you as optional. The pain makes you feel unchosen, but over time, that separation saves you from a life of constant proving, begging, or shrinking yourself. Redirection removes people who cannot meet you where you are going. What hurts now prevents deeper damage later. Look at education and personal goals. A student fails an exam or doesn't get accepted into a desired program. Shame whispers that they are not capable, but that failure forces them to reevaluate their strengths, change strategies, or explore a path they never considered. Many people discover their true calling only after a plan collapses. Redirection often reveals talents that comfort would have kept hidden. Even in friendships, rejection teaches clarity. When you stop being invited, included, or supported, it feels like abandonment. But that space creates awareness. You begin to notice who values you and who only enjoyed your convenience. Redirection leads you toward relationships built on mutual respect instead of proximity or habit. Daily life is full of redirection moments disguised as rejection. Missing a train leads to meeting someone new. Losing a job creates time to learn a skill that transforms your future. Being told no pushes you to build something of your own. If everything worked out immediately, growth would be shallow. Rejection also strengthens self-identity. When approval disappears, you are forced to define yourself without external validation. This builds inner confidence. You learn that your value does not rise or fall based on acceptance. That strength becomes essential later, because the path ahead will require you to stand firm even when misunderstood. Think about business and creativity. Many successful ideas were rejected before they were recognized. Early rejection refined the vision, improved the product, and strengthened resilience. Redirection sharpened focus. Without initial resistance, success would have been fragile. Rejection protects energy. Not every space deserves your effort. Not every opportunity deserves your time. Being turned away saves you from pouring yourself into environments that cannot nurture you. Redirection conserves strength for places where it will multiply. In daily emotional life, rejection exposes unhealthy attachments. It forces you to confront where you place your identity. That awareness leads to healing. Redirection restores balance. Even in timing, rejection matters. Entering a place too early can be as harmful as entering the wrong place. Closed doors slow you down so growth can catch up. Redirection synchronizes you with the right season. Many people measure success by how many doors open, but wisdom learns from the ones that close. Every rejection carries information. It tells you what is not meant to contain you. It pushes you toward expansion. When you stop resisting rejection, you start reading it as guidance. Painful guidance, but guidance nonetheless. It reroutes you around dead ends and toward open horizons. Rejection often feels final, but redirection is progressive. It moves you step by step towards something better, suited to who you are becoming. If God hasn't removed your purpose, He hasn't removed His hand. Even when life feels heavy, confusing, or painfully quiet. Purpose is not a random idea. It is a divine assignment planted deep inside you. As long as that inner pull still exists, as long as you still feel called to grow, to serve, to become more, it is proof that God is still involved. Hands don't let go of what they are still shaping. Think about daily life. A sculptor does not abandon a statue while it is still unfinished. The stone may feel pressure, cracks, and repeated blows, but every strike means the sculptor is still working. Silence does not mean abandonment. It often means focus. When life is pressing on you from all sides, it is often because something meaningful is being formed, not because you've been forgotten. Look at people who go through repeated setbacks, yet still feel driven to rise. A person may lose a job, face rejection, or experience failure after failure, yet something inside them refuses to quit. That inner fire is not self-created, it is evidence of purpose. If God wanted to stop you, He would remove the desire. The fact that you still dream means His hand is still guiding. Consider a student who struggles academically but still shows up every day. They fail tests, feel discouraged, and doubt themselves, yet they keep studying. That persistence is purpose at work. If the goal were removed, motivation would disappear. The struggle itself becomes proof that something meaningful is being pursued. God's hand is present in endurance. In relationships, purpose reveals itself again. You may experience heartbreak, betrayal, or loneliness, yet still believe in love. That belief survives because purpose survives. God removes people, not purpose. He clears space so you don't confuse attachment with destiny. If He hasn't hardened your heart, He hasn't drawn His care. Daily responsibilities also reveal this truth. You may feel tired, overwhelmed, and unseen, yet you continue to show up for your family, your work, your responsibilities. That sense of duty comes from purpose. God's hand strengthens you in ordinary moments where greatness is quietly built. Think about healing. A person may be wounded emotionally or physically, yet still seek recovery. The desire to heal is purpose-driven. If God had removed His hand, hope would vanish. But hope persists, even faintly, proving that guidance is still active. In creative work, purpose is unmistakable. Writers, artists, and builders often feel blocked, misunderstood, or ignored, yet they keep creating. That persistence is not ego, it is calling. God doesn't silence creativity He intends to use. Delay refines it. Purpose also sustains faith. You may question, doubt, or wrestle internally, yet you still reach for meaning. Faith doesn't die easily when purpose remains. God's hand is present even in questioning. Think about daily routines again. A clock keeps ticking even when no one is watching. Purpose works the same way. It continues beneath the surface, independent of applause. God's hand moves quietly. When life strips you of comfort, security, or certainty, but leaves your calling intact, it is intentional. Comfort can be removed. People can be removed. Plans can be removed. But purpose stays because it is anchored deeper than circumstances. Even exhaustion does not mean abandonment. Fatigue often means effort. God's hand does not always feel gentle. Sometimes it feels demanding. Growth requires resistance. Purpose also survives mistakes. You may regret choices, feel ashamed, or wish you could rewind time. Yet purpose adapts. God does not discard calling because of human error. His hand redirects, corrects, and continues. Daily life shows this again when doors close, but inner direction remains. External paths change, but internal direction persists. That persistence is divine involvement. If God had removed His hand, your spirit would be numb. You would feel indifferent. You would stop caring. But if you still care, still try, still believe, still rise after falling, His hand is still there. Purpose is not fragile. It bends, adapts, and grows stronger through challenge. God protects purpose because it carries meaning beyond the moment. Every struggle that does not erase your calling confirms divine presence. Every setback that doesn't kill your desire confirms divine guidance. Every delay that doesn't silence your inner voice confirms divine involvement, as long as purpose breathes within you. God's hand has not left your life. When the blessing comes, it comes complete, with peace, wisdom, and stability, not chaos, not confusion, not fear. A true blessing does not steal your sleep, rush your decisions, or fracture your identity. It settles you. It strengthens you. It aligns your outer success with your inner calm. Anything that arrives and immediately costs you your peace was not ready for you, or you were not ready for it. Look at daily life. When something comes too early, it excites the emotions but overwhelms the mind. Think of a young person given responsibility without guidance. Instead of confidence, they feel pressure. Instead of growth, they feel anxiety. But when responsibility comes at the right time, it builds confidence. The difference is preparation. A complete blessing arrives when your mind, heart, and habits are ready to hold it without breaking. Peace is the first sign of a true blessing. In relationships, the right connection doesn't keep you guessing, doubting, or shrinking yourself. It brings calm. You don't feel the need to chase, prove, or perform. The blessing fits naturally into your life. It doesn't demand constant explanation. Peace confirms alignment. Wisdom travels with real blessing. When opportunity arrives at the right time, you know how to manage it. You don't panic, you don't rush, you don't make impulsive decisions. Think of someone who builds a business slowly. When growth comes, they understand systems, people, and limits. Success doesn't confuse them because wisdom arrived first. Stability completes the blessing. Stability means the blessing lasts. It doesn't collapse at the first challenge. In finances, quick money often disappears quickly because stability was missing. But when income grows with discipline, it creates security instead of stress. Stability allows enjoyment without fear of loss. Daily work life reveals this truth. A promotion received before emotional maturity creates stress and insecurity. But when promotion comes after learning patience, communication, and leadership, it feels manageable. The same role feels lighter because the person is stronger. That is completeness. In family life, blessings appear as harmony. A home built on patience and respect feels safe. Love doesn't fluctuate based on moods. Stability creates trust. Wisdom teaches compromise. Peace fills the atmosphere. Even in personal growth, complete blessing feels different. Achievements reached after struggle bring humility. You appreciate them. You protect them. You don't abuse them. The journey added value to the reward. Think about health. Healing that comes gradually teaches lifestyle change. Instant relief without wisdom leads to repetition of harm. Complete healing includes understanding, not just relief. Complete blessing also aligns with timing. It arrives when other areas of life can support it. Relationships, finances, and responsibilities align. Nothing is forced. Everything fits. Daily examples continue. Driving a powerful car requires skill. Without it, speed becomes danger. Blessing without wisdom becomes burden. God releases blessings when you can drive them safely. Peace guards decisions. Wisdom guides actions. Stability sustains outcomes. Remove any one of these, and the blessing becomes fragile. People often envy others' blessings without knowing the preparation behind them. What looks effortless was built carefully. Completeness is not accidental. When the blessing comes complete, it does not distract you from purpose. It supports it. It enhances your life instead of consuming it. You don't fear losing what came from alignment. You trust it. You enjoy it. You grow with it. Incomplete blessings create anxiety. Complete blessings create gratitude. When God releases something into your life, He considers your future, not just your present desire. He packages peace, wisdom, and stability together so the blessing does not become a test you fail. True blessings do not rush you. They reassure you. They do not pressure you. They ground you. They do not confuse you. They clarify you. They do not weaken you. They strengthen you. They do not compete with your values. They reinforce them. When something arrives and brings calm instead of chaos, clarity instead of confusion, and strength instead of strain, you recognize completeness without needing explanation. A complete blessing doesn't just change your situation, it elevates your entire life system so you can hold what you prayed for and still remain whole. Listen carefully now, because this is where everything comes together. You didn't wait for nothing. You didn't suffer for nothing. You didn't cry, pray, struggle, and stand alone for nothing. Every delay shaped you. Every closed door redirected you. Every silent season strengthened you. And here is the truth that must settle in your spirit today. God never prepares nothing for nothing. If He allowed you to endure it, it is because you are built to carry what is coming. If He slowed you down, it is because what is ahead requires stability, not speed. If He kept you waiting, it is because rushing would have ruined what waiting refined. You thought the waiting was wasting you, but the waiting was arming you. You thought the silence was abandonment, but the silence was alignment. You thought the rejection was loss, but the rejection was protection. Hear this clearly: God does not tease His children with purpose and then abandon them halfway. What is meant for you will not come to break you. It will come to bless you. It will not steal your peace. It will settle your soul. It will not confuse your mind. It will confirm your growth. That is why it took time, because when it comes, it must stay. When it comes, it must last. When it comes, it must match the person you have become. You are no longer the version of you that begged, rushed, and doubted. You are becoming the version that can handle, protect, and sustain. And let me say this boldly: some of the greatest breakthroughs arrive quietly, not loudly. They don't come with chaos. They come with clarity. They don't come with panic. They come with peace. What you are stepping into will feel different. It won't feel forced. It won't feel fragile. It won't feel temporary. It will feel right. Because God never delivers blessings incomplete. He sends them with wisdom so you don't destroy them. He sends them with stability so you don't lose them. He sends them with peace so you don't fear them. So lift your head. You didn't miss it. You're not behind. You're not forgotten. You're on schedule. And the same God who carried you through the delay is the same God who sustain you in the blessing. Remember this: when doubt tries to rise again, if God trusted you with the process, He will trust you with the promise. Your waiting was not a detour. It was the road that made you ready. And what's coming next will not require you to beg, chase, or break yourself. It will recognize you. It will meet you prepared. It will arrive whole. Because what God gives at the right time comes with the strength to hold it, the wisdom to keep it, and the peace to enjoy it.